Laid back arrow to the knee. Yes please. So contrary to the unhallowed essence Demon Hunter, which I've covered earlier, the Marauder Demon Hunter is much more durable and a bit slower paced. Instead of owning mobs by filling the screen with multi-shot, the Marauder prefers to set down turrets and take down enemies methodically from afar, often not giving the monsters any chance to get close. So, let's go over the gear now. First off, we'll need the full 6 pieces of the Marauder set. Then, as a belt, we'll go for the Zoe's Secret, increasing survivability. For bracers, we'll go for the Reps of Clarity, increasing survivability even further. For the rings, it's Focus and Restraint. Necklace would ideally be the Hellfire Amulet with a good passive like Steady Aim or Awareness. As of Joanne would be a viable alternative, but unfortunately I have neither of those. As a weapon, having the Manticore is mandatory because of the most welcome hatred reduction on Cluster Arrow, which we'll be using as our primary hatred spender. Bombardier's Rucksack is essential for more sentries and to be able to have more of them active. For legendary gems we'll go for Bane of the Trapped, Zaystone of Vengeance and Taeguk. As for skills we'll take Evasive Fire with the Focus rune as our primary. The rune gives us a good amount of hatred and removes the annoying backflip. As for our spender, we'll go for the Cluster Arrow ability with the Shooting Star rune. Vault with the Tumble rune as our mobility skill. Sentry with the Polar Station for some increased crowd control offered by the Polar Station rune. Vengeance with Seethe, increased damage and increased survivability because of the Visage of Goon's cubed effect. And lastly we'll go for the Companion skill, to be used whenever you want to have that extra amount of damage to burst down the baddies. For passives we take Steady Aim, good damage increase as long as we keep our distance. Custom Engineering, more sentries and more uptime, making it easier to have all 5 up at all times. Ballistics to increase damage from the rockets, Shot from Vengeance and Cluster Arrow. And lastly, Call of the Week. As for the Paragon points in Core, we'll go for 15% movement speed and the rest of the points in Dexterity. Or, if you prefer, you can also put them in Hatred. I choose to go for 15% movement speed instead of the usual 25% because the Companion grants us the extra 10%, the Ferrets specifically. In offense, it's cooldown reduction, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and lastly attack speed. In defense, it's all resist, life, armor, and lastly life regen. And in utility, it's resource cost, area damage, life on hit, and finally gold find. In the Kanai's Cube, we'll go for the same as with the Unhallowed Essence Demon Hunter, which is Dawn for the weapon slot, Visage of Goons for the armor slot, and Convention of Elements as the ring slot, making it possible to keep up Vengeance at all times. While playing this build, always keep the number of sentries up to 5, ensuring maximum damage because of the 6 set bonus from the Marauder set. Always try and place them within a pack of mobs to slow them down and trigger the effect from Banes of the Trap gem and also the Call of the Week passive skill. Aim to keep Vengeance up at all times for increased damage and survivability, and use the Companion ability to burst down enemies, taunt them, and refill hatred. Naturally, we'll use Evasive Fire every 5 seconds to keep up Focus and Restraint, and of course, spam Cluster Arrow as much as we can to inflict the most damage possible. Interested in other builds by me? Be sure to check out my playlists in the description to see what else I've covered. Thanks for watching, and I wish you one hell of a good day.